Hi, this is Eliezer Montaño from the group Seats. This presentation is for the course um, Testing and Evaluation in English Language Teaching. And the purpose of this presentation is just to speak a little bit about a meaningful experience that I had during my pedagogical practice. And yeah, a little bit about that process. So let's go to it. Okay, great. So let's begin with the practice process introduction. I began or I carried out the pedagogical practices at the Adventist School of Cartagena. So, as its name suggests, we can understand that this school is an Adventist school with Christian values, all right? And it was an amazing place. I want to emphasize the fact that as a teacher at that institution, I found myself, I could describe myself as a facilitator or also as a supporter, as a support, and not only that, but also as a guide to all the students. Okay, I think that's the main role that I had as a teacher. And I want to tell you a little bit about the background information and about the educational setting. So, as I said before, this is an Adventist school. It has two floors. It is a two-floor school, and in the second floor you can find all the classrooms of almost all the grades, all high school grades, except for 10th grade. And also on the second floor you can find the administrative place or administrative room, where it is located the coordinator, and so on. Um, on the first floor, you can find that, yeah, you can see that there are a lot of courses as well, but that's from the primary school, right? And then, well, you can also find 10th grade, and right in the middle, there's like a long soccer field. Yeah, like a long soccer field in which students, take advantage of it and play soccer in there. And not only that, but there are also like some big stands where all the students can just sit in there and watch how, the students play. It's big in general. I could say that the school is big, all right? But yeah, that's for you to have an idea of how it looks like. And apart from that, I want to give you an overview of the meaningful experience that I had in this part. And it's pretty much that I had the chance to not only to help the main English teacher for high school in the institution, but also to be the main English teacher in high school of the in the high yeah in the high school part of the institution. And it sounds crazy. I was not even expecting it, but we're going to get to that point soon. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, so these were the main significant objectives of the pedagogical practice or the internship that I carried out. The first one is apply different pedagogical strategies to create an enjoyable environment of learning in which students feel confident to participate and demonstrate engagement to the class. So the reason why I set this goal or this objective is because as you know, there is something students struggle with constantly and all the time, and it's the fact that they do not want to get embarrassed or feel embarrassed. They are not willing to make mistakes. They are not prepared for it because they think that they are going to, uh, yeah, like they're gonna have a really bad time in there trying to speak, trying to participate. So one of the main objectives that I had as a teacher is to provide students with the correct tools, with the correct environment for them to feel confident, for them to feel that it's okay to make mistakes, that it's okay to if you do not know something, and that it's alright to ask questions as well. The second objective was to obtain personal confidence and development as a teacher through the experience during the classes. It's worth highlighting that, yeah, I hadn't given classes as the main English teacher before. Like previously in the past years, I was only a support for the main English teacher. So I was like the second English teacher in the class. I was just like helping the students with the activities. If the teacher wanted me to explain something, I could do it. I could do that as well. Sometimes she or he gave me like 1 hour for me to be able to carry out one class, one English class with a specific topic. But apart from that, nothing else. So the development that I had, so yeah, considering that I had the chance to be the main English teacher, one of the objectives that I wanted to achieve is that personal confidence that I didn't have, that experience, that development as a teacher that you can only get when you are in that position, that you can only get when you are in the role of main teacher, of main English teacher, when you have to do everything, when you have to prepare lessons, when you have to, yeah, when you have the power to carry out the English classes. I hadn't done that previously before in previous years, but it's something that I had to do this time. So that was great. And the third objective was to demonstrate and teach to the students the easiness of a second language learning when commitment and effort work together. Something that I really emphasize to my students or to the students at the institution is that I was a person that liked to, I'm sorry, I was a person that liked to compensate. Okay, perfect. And not only the fact that I wanted to compensate the effort, but also that English or learning a second language is not that difficult. All right. Like if you put yourself, if you put some dedication on it, and you're willing, like your will is related and intertwined um, with that long to learn English, then you're gonna do it. Okay. So in this part, I want to talk about the student's profile at the institution. So pretty much, the school is located right in front of the Maria Auxiliadora neighborhood in Cartagena. Yeah, so the economical status or the social status, I think that's the correct word, the social status of the students, it was kind of two, if I am not wrong. Yeah, it was two, like around from two to three, some of them. And the regarding the the characteristics of the students, these are students that have most of them some family issues and that they live in an environment at their house and in a neighborhood where um yeah, like the like everything is difficult, you see. Like it's a heavy place, those are heavy places to live in, so just for you to take into consideration. Something else that it is necessary to emphasize is the academic level, but being more specific, the academic level in English, of course. So most of the students, I would say almost all of them, they have an English level, an A1 English level. So there are still a lot of things that they have to improve. And it's not easy because there are even students at 11th grade who are in A1 level and they should be already in a B1 level. There are some of them that are in a A2 level, but not all of them. So like the disparity that you could see in there uh, among students in the same grade, um, that was very, very, very hard. The expectations of the students was, how can I say it? The expectation of the students in this case were high because they were going to have a new English teacher, which in this case is me. They had another English teacher. They didn't have a good time with her. A lot of difficult situations happened that actually ended up with the teacher resigning from her position as an English teacher, and then I just took over her place and her position. And so yeah, the expectation of them, of the students, were high, considering that they would have a new English teacher, and the challenges, of course. I mean, considering that the students were expecting a lot from the new English teacher, then it was not easy. The fact that I had to to be the one in charge of them, you see. So let's go on. Already. So the classroom environment. First of all, the physical classroom setup and atmosphere. Okay. So in this part, I want to say that mm, there are a lot of classrooms. All of them are a little different. Of course, all of them are like filled out with different stickers and materials designed from different areas or from different assignments and subjects. But in general, all the classrooms have an air conditioner, enough chairs. Some of them have one whiteboard. Some of them have two whiteboards. So, but all the classrooms in general are pretty comfortable, pretty comfy, and very, very spaceful, right? Now, the challenges of learning in of the learning environment. I would like to say that one of the most difficult things during my pedagogical practice was the fact that not all the students have the same English level. I try to, like as a suggestion, provide to the coordinator some solutions for this, which is, it would include a lot of hard work and a lot of time because it's pretty much to put all the students of high school into an English class, but only the ones that have the same level. So they would be like separated from one another. So the English classes um, sorry, yeah, the English classes would not be with the students of the same grade, but from students of the same English level. But yeah, that was something that it was kind of complicated to do. It was just an idea, something that actually, a lot of things had to be changed, so that was not an option. But yeah, I mean, I think that the challenge that I have during the learning environment is the fact that I had to do a lot of personalized feedback and personalized teaching, considering that the amount of the students, because they were around 40 in it, sorry, there were around 40 students in each classrooms, and so yeah, it was not easy at all, not easy at all. Now, the lessons and approach. Yeah, the school was Christ Center. It had a Christ Center approach, which means that all and everything turns around Jesus Christ and the fact that God has a plan for you, God has a purpose for you, God has created this life in order to have a relationship with you. So this is the approach of the school. Somehow, in all of the subjects, English, math, science, all of them, you have to, as a teacher, set aside a specific moment. It could be in one class, in two classes, three classes, but to provide the students with with a moral teaching or a religious teaching in which you let them know that God loves them, all right? Like to preach the gospel to them. And not only that, but we can see that it is a Christ-centered approach because in the first classes of in the first classes of the day, in the first class you always have to carry out like a devotional with the students in which they praise to God, they worship God, we make a prayer and so on. So second, the communicative grammar translation method is the one that I used. This one it's about translation, of course, because I think the translation in English it is very essential. Overall, when you are just starting, it is super important to use translation because that way students have something to grab, like something to hold themselves from. You see, I don't like the fact to just throw the students into English. No, I want to provide them with something they can just hold themselves to. You see. Um, so that's why I use a lot of translation and the communicative part, which I found very important and helpful for the students to be able to um, lose the fear, yeah, to lose fear and just do it, right? For them to be able and to start talking, to start speaking with one another during the class. You know, for me, the speaking part is the most essential one. For you to be able to communicate what you want to say, I mean, for me, that's everything. And that's why I always emphasize this, and that's why I always um, apply this English teaching method. And the last thing, it's more an strategy that I use, which is the collaborative learning. In this case, what I did is that I usually make the students to be in pairs or in groups of four or three for them to learn together. So they carried out some activities together, or on the other hand, they could also spend all the time with a specific group. So I divided them into different groups and they stayed in that way for the whole class, you see. And the purpose for that is for them to be able to learn not only from me as a teacher, but from their partners. Like if I do not understand something, if I am the student and I didn't understand something, then I would just ask the partner that I have next to me to see if he understood. And if he understood, then he would explain to me. That was the purpose, and I think that was very helpful. And the challenges and opportunities as well. Yeah, as I said before, the amount of students in each class was, yeah, sometimes that was a whole mess, to be honest with you, because it's just a lot of students that you have to control, and it's not easy, right? The time management of the classes was not easy as well. I had a hard time with the time management of the classes, but I think it was because of my my own experience, you see. I think that the lack of experience that I had made me not being able to manage the time well during the classes. So that's something I would be improving step by step, as the time goes on. And but yeah, I think that of course, like every time I was improving and improving and improving, but in general it was not easy at all because there were a lot of times when I had to yeah, there were a lot of times when I had to um, when I prepared the lesson for a class and it didn't went as expected, like the time was not sufficient. And the last one is the organization for the preparation of the classes. I am someone who has a lot of duties. I work in a call center. I also gave um, like personalized English teaching to some external students. Apart from the pedagogical practice, the fact that I am also studying, so a lot of things that I do. So it was not easy for me to prepare the classes. Like I had to set aside time from my sleeping to prepare the classes, so it was not easy. And finally, as a reflection and as a conclusion, I want to say um, that it was a wonderful moment. I am grateful for the time I was the main English teacher. Right now, I am no longer the main English teacher at this educative institution. The reason is that, as I said previously, I have another job and I have a lot of things to do. So, being the main English teacher was going to be very, very exhausting. Yeah, that's the word, exhausting. I would have loved not to be in the in this job somehow, the one I'm currently in, to be able to, continue as the main English teacher at this institution. But yeah, it's just something that I cannot do at the moment. But as I said, yeah, I would have loved to continue more with the students, with this institution. It was a nice moment. I learned a lot from the students on how to handle them, how to manage the class itself, and I cultivated a lot of good relationships. Um, Still some things that I have to improve, of course, as all of us, like my tone of voice, the way that, yeah, the time management, the class management, and so on. But overall, I want to say that it was very, very, very useful for me this moment, considering that I didn't have the chance in the past years to be like to have that role of English teacher. And now that I have a taste of what it is to be an English teacher, then I want to continue on it. So it was amazing. Thank you so much for watching this and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.